Do you think you can wait for 20 years without communication? As the episode goes by, I want you to guess if this episode is a love story, is it about hatred or friendship? And let us analyze if it is a smash or pass. We are back again with another episode that is hosted by us, your favorite partners, the Recomedians. Most of my listeners recommend this story, and today, we're discussing about after 20 years. In this episode, what am I thinking? Is it a smash or a pass? Let's find out.
Maghihintay ako sa iyong pagbabalik. Nandito lang ako at ang balang mangyari. Paunin mo sa iyong pag-alis. Mga ligaya ng nakaraan. Maghihintay ako.
After 20 Years is written by O. Henry. In this story, it tells us no matter how long you've been friends into someone, the right way to prove that you're their true friend is you will not tolerate their wrongdoings. Just like what Bob did. Are you ready on how the story started and on how it ended?
So, the story started from a cop wandering about 10 at night around the street and saw a tall man named Bob in the front of a shop. When he saw Bob, Bob spoke and said, "It's all right, officer. I'm waiting for a friend," and told the story how he and his friend promised each other that they will meet again after 20 years in the restaurant exactly 10 p.m. The cop told him that he'll go on his way and asked him if he will leave if his friend don't come at exactly 10 p.m. But Bob told him that he will wait for half an hour because his friend is a slow mover. And after 20 minutes, a tall man showed up with a long coat and went to Bob and said, "Is that you, Bob?" He asked recently and Bob responded, "Is that you, Jimmy Wells?" Jimmy took his hand and said, "It's Bob." "It surely is," and tell him that he is certain to find Bob in the restaurant if he were alive. They talked to each other and exchanged, "How are you, Jimmy?" Jimmy said, "The old restaurant is gone. I wish it was here so we could have a dinner." And Jimmy offered to go to the place that he knows so they can talk how are they after 20 years. They walk arms in arms, and when they arrived in a shop bright with electric lights, Bob pulled his arms away and said, "You're not Jimmy Wells. 20 years is a long time, but not long enough to change the shape of a man's nose." But Jimmy said, "It sometimes changes a good man into a bad one." And with that, Bob was arrested. When the fake Jimmy said that the real Jimmy asked him to arrest Bob instead of the real Jimmy. So the fake Jimmy handed Bob a letter from the fake Jimmy. It said that Bob, it was at the place on time. I saw the face of the man that is wanted by Chicago cops. I didn't want to arrest you myself, so I went and got another cop and sent him to the job.
After hearing this story, if you were Bob, what do you think you'll feel? Me? If I were Bob, I'll feel bad. Feel bad because somehow, after the 20 years, me and Jimmy were friends. Even if we're far apart from each other and there's no communication, our promise to each other did not broke. If I were Bob, I might feel betrayed. But at the end of the day, I know that Jimmy did that because that's what real friends do. Thinking that Jimmy don't want to arrest Bob himself, it proves that Jimmy still cares for Bob. As what I have said earlier, to prove your love and care to your friend, the only thing to prove it is to correct them from their bad habits and bad behavior. True friendship is more than just a shared moment and promises. Sometimes, a real friend making a big choices for good, even if it hurts. Just like what Jimmy did, he doesn't turn a blind eye, no matter it is friend Bob. In this case, right is more important than reuniting with your friend. who did so many things in Chicago without you knowing that he is a criminal.
After reading this story, let us all reflect on what is friendship. Question ourselves, what is the real meaning of loyalty in friendship? If I were Jimmy, will I do the same thing? Would I have the courage to do what he did? What Jimmy did was right. Even if they have a past, he didn't turn a blind eye, especially in Bob's actions in damaging. On the other hand, the twist got me feeling like bittersweet. Because after waiting 20 years, all I got is to be confronted that my friend did really make a big change. Imagine waiting him to be a good, healthy, and rich man, but when he's back after 20 years, he really have a big change. But the changes that he did is bad, really bad. In the end of the story, this made me realize that having a good friend is making a tough choices even if it's hurting their feelings. Realizing that it's easy to be there for someone when everything's going well. But what happens when your friend is no longer the person they once were? It's a tough and difficult message, but that's the reality. Sometimes, having a friend means holding them accountable.
After 20 years really holds up a reality message in today's world, especially when we think how does the friendship really works? How we view the friendship with the loyalty but also holds us accountability. Just like in this generation, most of us is called people pleaser because meeting a new friend after those years, we're expecting them to be them before we part ways. Speaking of people pleaser, we often see some of the people defending their friends, lovers, or loved ones, even when they make mistakes, just because of history or emotional ties. It's struggle that many of us support someone out of loyalty, speak up when their actions are wrong, thinking that defending them after they did wrong will stronger your relationship, but that's not how it works. I know I've said this so many times, but being or having a friend will correct you from all your wrongdoings. Please keep that in your minds. We're in an age where standing up for what's right is becoming more important than ever. And that's exactly what Jimmy did. And that's exactly the story telling us to do the right thing for you to be able at peace. And that's the wrap of the story of After 20 Years. It clears that Henry O's story defined what or how the real and genuine friendship works. We can all take something from Jimmy's decision to do what was right despite the personal pain it caused. It, it challenged us to reflect on our own friendships and ask ourselves, are we willing to make the hard choices that uphold our values? Even if it means sacrificing our friends that we once shared our memories, laughter, and promises, the one who once made our life happy.
After 20 years isn't telling us about only reuniting with a friend and telling them they did wrong. Perhaps it's telling us holding them accountably will make us make the tough decisions. So whether it is a smash or a pass for you, I hope this story left you thinking about the true friendship looks like and what it takes to stay true to our principles, no matter the cost. Thank you for joining me today. Having you with me is a great chance to make another more memories. This story is a smash. Thank you everyone. Stay true, stay wise. Just like Jimmy, this is your favorite host, the Ray Comedians. Goodbye.